Okay, so this problem is a chi-square, and they want us to come up with the HO and HA. So HO is that property is independent of region in the United States. Okay, I'm going to do the HA in another color just because we're crunched here. And it's the same words. I can't pronounce this word, sorry. Is dependent of region in the United States of America. Okay? Now, how many degrees of freedom are there? Well, the formula for degrees of freedom is going to be 2 minus 1 because there's 2 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 columns. That's 1 times 3, which is 3. Remember, we do not include the totals when we count those up. Now it says, show how to get the expected values for the first cell. So that's going to be 484 times 1,000 divided by 4,000. Okay. Now it says state your complete conclusion. So what we will do, we will reject HO since my p-value of 0.0029 is small. There is evidence to suggest that poverty, why can't I pronounce that, in the United States is dependent of the region in the United States, right? Okay, so this one is a spin-off of linear regression. They want us to figure out the degrees of freedom. Well, it doesn't have n at all in the box, but up here it says 58 students. So it's 58 minus 2, which is 56. Okay, so t, so I have to go find t. Remember, we ignore this guy here because that's about the y-intercept. We want to know about the slope. So it's going to be 1, 2, 8, 9, 9, 7 minus 0 divided by 0.09115. So it's basically, you divide those two numbers, and I would use all those decimals. 28997 divided by 0.09115, and I get 14.15. Okay, so we found the t. Now let's go find the p-value. And so let's just sketch what we know. Okay, so here is 0. Here is 14.15. And it's going to be greater than. So is this. So do you agree with me that if this was z, and we were 3 standard deviations, that the probability of being in a tail would be very small? Well, can you imagine if we're 14 standard deviations from the mean? It's going to be very small. So the probability of this is roughly 0. It's roughly 0. But if you don't believe me, let's go into the graphing calculator and do this. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to distributions. And remember back in the day, we would go to normal CDF. Well, you know, there's a T CDF. Do you see it down there? So I'm going to go to CDF. Remember, don't do PDF, do CDF. And it wants the lower bound. Well, my lower bound is 1415. My upper bound is positive infinity, right? My degrees of freedom is 56. You press paste. And what do I get? I get 1.97 to the negative 20th. 19 zeros. That is pretty darn close to 0, all right? So the p-value is roughly 0. So the probability that t of 56 is greater than 14.15 is equal to 0. So we will reject HO since my p-value of 0 is small. So if I'm rejecting it, that means I'm going with HA. Remember, HA is that there is a relationship. So what is this about? I don't even know what it's about. They wonder if the length of surgery might be related to the hospital stay. So there is evidence to suggest to suggest that there is a relationship between the length of the surgery and the length of hospital stay. I'm running out of room. There is a relationship.